Alrighty then, guys. What's going on? I'm John Masters. I'm gonna probably start doing these because it's feeling like it's about time. And I jumped on the channel. I don't think I've checked this in about 6 months. And I'm like, holy crap, where did all these subscribers come from? I may start posting some more on the regular post, but I think what I want to do is, well, I kind of have to do it, so I might as well just go ahead and do it. It's all part of saying goodbye. Not that I'm dying anytime soon, but we'll get into that at some time or another. But it's all part of doing what I'm supposed to do and giving back. As a soul or a spirit gets older and older, and he gets closer to going beyond, that doesn't mean like everybody dies and then they're reborn. I very much follow that whole karmatic wheel thing. But once a soul is at the point where they're going to leave the wheel of karma, they tend to want to just put out hints, give out hints. Not that they're, not that it's something that everybody's going to understand. But let me see. Okay, everything's coming through. Looks like pretty good. So I'm going to try to start doing these like once a week. I think we'll probably do it in, I don't know, maybe on a Thursday. Probably earlier, like more around 6 o'clock. I think I can pretty much commit to that, where y'all can ask questions. And on the live streams, again, I don't know if I'm going to do posts. I know it doesn't sound like I'm prepared. You know why? I'm really not. I'm just kind of hopping on to talk with y'all. But if I don't do posts, I'm thinking I'll want to do questions and answers on the videos that I've already put out. The reason I want to do that is because those videos are complicated. They're actually quite in-depth and they're quite deep. But we got one person on. I'm thinking, again, guys, I'm pretty sure I could commit. This is kind of more of an advertising one. I don't expect a lot of people in. I do got one person. Thank you, Illuminati. Illuminati? Is that how you say it? Illuminati? I do have one person in. And I'm going to go through his or her questions. And this is mainly going to be an advertisement to let you all know. Again, I'm kind of shocked I got so many subscribers. I really didn't expect it. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. Guys, I'm an old soul. I'm a very, very old soul. I have dream teachers. They teach me things. A lot of times the things that I learn, I put it into my own words because I never had formal education. In other words, I wasn't part of a group. And then what would happen is maybe years later or a year later, who knows? But what would happen is I would find validation for things that there's no way I could possibly know it. And it's documented, it could be in Christianity, it could have been documented in Buddhism or Taoism, but they all ended up being truths. And there's no way that I would have known it at the time. And the dream teachers, their job, when a soul gets old enough, is to get you beyond the veil, to move you. There's a veil around this reality, okay? That we're going to cover. You guys read, hopefully you've watched my videos. You know that there's a separation between light and dark, okay? Most everybody is within this realm here, okay? In the dark realm. This is why you'll notice in most all of your dreams, it's dark. And it's only lit in what's around you, because that's the realm that you're in. So, when you get to a certain point in your development, a spirit is going to help you to move beyond the veil. You can't move from one height to another without somebody from the upper height, when you're ready, takes you across. Okay, that's really important. But it's not something that you have to say, oh God, please send an angel to bring me across to the next level. It doesn't work that way. When you're ready and you've done what you need to do and your understanding is ready, They will come to you. They know that you're there. Okay, they know those that are ready. It all has to do with the connectedness of the web. Jumping around a lot, but anyways, I'm pretty far along the path. I'll go ahead and share with y'all what I know. You can either take it or leave it. It's up to you. All right, so Illuminati had a question, and she's got one that I'm going to go ahead and answer, or he. Are you a she or a he? Okay, let me catch up to you. By the way, let me know. Wow, hello, Cyber. I hope everybody read the notes that I made ahead of time. Like I said, I'm shocked at that. So I looked at it. 6 months later, I got 1,500 more subscribers. I was like, what? Wasn't really expecting it to take off. What I was really expecting the channel to be would be more along the lines of those that would be ready would find it, and they would listen to the videos and go, ha ha! I knew this, but I couldn't find it anywhere. I mean, I couldn't find it, and it clicks. It makes total sense. Okay, the first question I got is, I've seen many New Age types talking incessantly about the Great Awakening. What exactly is this, and where does this notion come from? All right, I'm going to tell you, every generation, all of the time, all of them have a Great Awakening that's occurring at that particular time. When they're talking about a Great Awakening, they're talking about a soul group, okay? There are different soul groups that get incarnated at specific periods of time. So, if you want to take it as evolution, the evolution of mankind right now, let's look at it that way. When they get to a certain point, the whole race, or all of mankind, awakens and they move across, or they move out. And they become now the caretakers or the gardeners of the earth, which brings in another group to take human form. Okay, so think of it as taking human form and moving out of human form. All right? So these spirits now become, which are the humans now, once the awakening happens, become the caretakers to help the next group, the next soul group, take human form. So you got to think of it as soul groups. There have been many, many soul groups that have already gone through the earth cycle, or through the physical cycle, or the cycle of becoming human. It doesn't last forever. People like to think of it as, and it is true to a point, as one individual progresses and they move along the path and they move on. The next one progresses, Yes, that is true. But there hits a point to where the whole group moves on. Some stay behind, but mostly the whole group moves along. And a new soul group evolves or moves into the human body, or the human experience. Let's put it another way. Human experience, okay? All right, let's see, what do we got? I hope that answers your question. I've only barely discovered the channel, and I must confess, I've watched the first 3 or 4 videos. That's okay. There's a lot of videos. It's been difficult for me to focus with everything going on. Okay, Illuminati. What are the chakras? I've heard someone saying that the chakras are more like pins used to hold down a dissection specimen. Is this correct? Should we be seeking to activate them or not? Guys, everybody, here's one of the problems that people have when it comes to the spiritual path. They think that they can influence it. You cannot influence it. You cannot force yourself beyond where you're at. So it's like, I'm an amputee. I got one leg missing. And yet, I think that I'm going to run as fast as a gifted sprinter that's broken all the records. Okay, he's gifted because he was ready to be one that would break all of the records. Not everybody is prepared for that. All you can do is focus on where you're at now. Do you see? And look at cutting your attachments, or progressing as far as you can right here and now. Chakras and all that is a secondary benefit. So, yeah, as you progress along the path, yeah, you're going to gain abilities. You're going to gain being able to do things that probably other people can't do. But it's a byproduct of the path. If you make it a goal of the path, you're never going to get there. You just won't. Because it's a byproduct. You have to focus on each one of the steps of the path. Is that making more sense? So yes, chakras do open when they're ready, when you progress to there. So, for instance, let's use the heart chakra, okay? I'm going to use the heart chakra for an instance. You can't open the heart chakra until you've opened the base and you've opened the dantian, or the second chakra. It's called the dantian in Taoism, or if you get into Shaolin. But I studied Shaolist Buddhism and Taoism for quite a while. I got good at it. I used to teach it. But you can't open the heart until you open the first two. You can't open the dantian until you open the first chakra. Now, most Westerners, and actually most people in particular, believe that, well, wait a minute, I don't really care about the base. I don't care about the dantian. I want to open the heart chakra because that will be enlightenment. Doesn't work that way. If you do manage to be able to open it, which odds are good that you can't because you don't have the focus, nor do you have the power to do so, you're going to be out of balance. So odds are more likely you're going to imagine that you've opened it. Because probably somebody's told you do this meditation, probably a new ager. All right, no, don't worry about anything but the heart. Once you open the heart, everything will become clear to you. And then you open the brow chakra, and then you'll see and know everything, and all of the other chakras will open. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so I got a ledge like that's 30 feet up, right? I could be the best broad jumper in the world, but I'm not going to broad jump up that ledge, am I? No. I'm going to have to find a set of stairs, and I'm going to have to take the stairs one step at a time to get up to that 30-foot ledge, right? Or I'm going to have to climb rocks if you want to think of it as, as a cliff. You've got to take the steps. You can't just broad jump. I suppose you probably could throw, a hook up, but don't you still have to step your way up? You still do. I use electric, Batman. It just doesn't work like that, okay? So to be able to make the path, you've got to take step one, step two. And here's the thing. Once you take a look at doing the steps, the next step opens up on its own, okay? So for most of you, what you're really focusing on right now is non-attachment, not being attached to the physical. Don't worry about not being attached to excitement and pleasures and all that. Don't worry about that, okay? What you want to worry about is you are not your body, that you are residing, you are a spirit, you are an awareness looking through this body. You also have a dream body, and you also have a spirit body. When you go to sleep at night, your awareness goes into your dream body. You have more than one body. If you have more than one body, that means that your physical body isn't really your body, is it? It's just a body, a vehicle to move throughout this reality or this dimension. So you need to realize it. Now, realizing is different than knowing it. A lot of you be like, oh yeah, but I know I'm the spirit. I already know it. Why? Because you studied it? Somebody told you that? Or have you realized it? Once you realize something, is different than knowing it. If you know something, you're still going about your life as you normally would, aren't you? Because, well, I already know this, but you haven't really changed who you are. Once you realize something, you'll notice that how you interact in the world, how you do things, is now reflecting what it is that you realized. So knowing that you're not your body is different than realizing that you're not your body. It's hard to explain, It's something that you guys got to experience on your own. But once you do realize that you're not your body, it's like you're taking steps in a fog, okay? You can't see the next step until you take that first step. So once you realize that, now you're sitting on that first step, right? And now the second step is, oh, okay, I got an idea. I see this second step. I don't understand how to do it yet, but I'm going to put my focus into this next step because, again, you don't accomplish anything without focus. If you don't focus on it, it ain't going to happen. You got to focus on realizing that you are not your body. And then dreams will happen, little hints will happen. You'll pick up a book and open it up, and there'll be a passage in there that you'll go, oh my God, okay, now this makes sense. Now I'm having an epiphany. And I used to do that all the time, especially when I was a beginner. I would read something and go, oh, I would do that. And I would have an epiphany. Talked about epiphanies. Epiphanies is that light that goes off when you realize something. If you do not have an epiphany, you are just knowing something. You just learned something. With an epiphany, it's life-changing. It gives a power. There's a feeling of empowerment right when you have it. You feel powerful. You know that you know it. You like, I can take on the world. And then generally what happens after that is fear. Fear of being different because you've been changed and your soul knows that you've been changed. And you're thinking to yourself, am I crazy? Wait a minute, not everybody believes this. And I really know that this is true. So fear usually happens next. And then there becomes a whole process of integrating what it is that you've realized to where you finally accept it and say, okay, wait a minute, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy at all. It's just that other people don't know or they don't see it. I hope I answered that question. I kind of went off on it. Guys, I do this a lot when I talk about spiritual stuff, okay? I go off on tangents. I just let my mind move me, I let the spirit move me on what to talk about. Oftentimes it connects with people, and I have no idea why. But that's all part of being a magician, or that's all part of being a spiritual being, or that's part of being somebody who's walking the path or wanting, if you want to say, to connect to God. You're not worried about an outcome. You're not worried about getting what it is that you want. What you're worried about is what it is that the universe, what it is, God, whatever, is wanting you to do at the moment. You don't have to understand it. You just know that it's right to do it. Does that make sense? Let's see. What do we got here? Okay, we got, Cyber's here. Hey, Cyber, what's up? Okay, what are dream teachers? Good question. Dream teachers are either one of two things, okay? They could be your spirit guides, okay? They could be that. Or, like in the case of me, my spirit guide took me to a dream teacher whose job was to take me to the other side of the veil. So they could either be, again, they could be your spirit guide. Spirit guide meaning the spirit or individual that helped you lay out your life before you were born for the experiences that you needed to grow and the experiences of everybody else. Remember, it's not selfish, okay? When you take a life, it's to influence other people and other people influence you. And everything is about bringing about the light, bringing about growth, okay? So that's your spirit teacher or your spirit guide. Now, when you get to a certain point that you're ready to progress beyond where your spirit guide can take you, they'll take you to a dream teacher. That teacher's job is to teach you the lessons. And again, only when you're ready, when your spirit's ready. It doesn't mean that it's going to be this lifetime. Again, look at things in a multidimensional format. If your awareness is forever, which it is, okay, I mean, you got to follow the path. You're going to have to take my word for it until you progress along, far enough along to where you realize it. But if the spirit is forever, the soul's forever, then this life really isn't that long. So, I mean, it may happen this life, it could be the next life. That's why you only need to worry. To your spirit, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's like a drop in the bucket. life right now, the amount of time it takes to do a life, to the spirit is like the amount of time it takes to cross a really cold river. You know, narrow river, couple of seconds in, you freeze your ass off, you're uncomfortable as hell, and then you're back out and you're like, okay, it's all right. That was painful, wasn't comfortable, but I made it across the river. So you got to think about it that way. A whole lifetime is only a blink of an eye to the spirit. So focus on where you're at now. When your spirit's ready, your guide will take you to a dream teacher. That dream teacher will look at you and they're going to read you. They're going to look into who you are and what your destiny is. They're going to look to see if you're ready. If you're ready, they'll say, okay, I'll take them. If you're not ready, they'll say, you're not ready yet. And that just means, and again, it's not, don't take it as a personal affront. It just means that you still need to work on purifying yourself, removing the negative tendencies. For those of you that are a Christian, if you're not into Buddhism or Taoism, and some of the different philosophies, Christianity is perfect. I'm not saying the Old Testament or the New Testament. If you want to know the path, read the Gospels. Okay? Don't read the interpretation of what everybody, Christ meant this and that and this and... No, Christ meant exactly what he said in the Gospels or what's written. Possibly translation variations, but it's close enough, okay? Means exactly what he says. If you can do everything that you see, and you can realize everything that you see in the Gospels, you will be ready to move along the path. Okay? Is that making more sense? See, what are dream teachers? Is it a spirit guide, and is it the same? Okay, I think I already answered that. Okay, angels and demons don't particularly exist. Remember, one man's avenging angel is another man's destroying demon. It's all a perspective aspect. Most anybody that doesn't have a physical body or an ego may appear as if they're being evil, but they're doing it for your own benefit. I mean, they're like, once I got my spirit guide, she had me up on a rack, and she was whipping me, ripping out my guts, etc. One would say she was a demon, but no, she gave me the realization that I needed. What she was actually an angel. But if you think something's a demon, just wait. The only demons in this particular realm is the ego, okay? So you take it from there. You think about that. Remember, the ego is the only demon within this realm. Yeah, I know. All my Bible thumpers from my... I believe in faith-based system. I think it's great too, but a lot of them would be like, is John Masters saying that? I'm going to have to unsubscribe. Illuminati again. Is it a spirit guide? Is it the same? Okay, angel or demon? He. Okay, good. Now I know that you're a guy. Okay, good question, High Hopes. All right. You got to think, everything's broken up into dimensions, okay? And then there's even sections of dimensions. So, for instance, within, here's the veil, okay? Here's below the veil, this is dark. And here's above the veil. This is light, okay? So these are the two main sections. Now, within each sections are, the best way to put it is, what would you call it? Not really sections. There's a word for it. Levels, okay? Levels. And you have to move your way up the levels, okay? Until you get to the veil. Once you get to the veil, to the top, you got to move to the top of this section, the section of darkness. Then the spirit guide, whoever, or your spirit teacher, is the one that's going to take you to the other side of the veil. The other side of the veil is what we call, if you're into religion, etc., you'd call it heaven. That's the realm of light. Within heaven itself, the ego can't exist. So it's kind of a process. You still have your ego when you cross over, but it can't exist there. And what happens is once your spirit crosses over, that ego, which has attached itself to you, that you created, by the way, yourself over many, many lifetimes. It's followed you throughout every birth that you've had. You've been born. You're a child. And if you ever notice somewhere around 10 to 12 years old, you start to have dreams, and maybe even as low as 8, but you'll start to have dreams of the monster under the bed or the monster in the closet. Everybody's had it. Come on, tell me anybody that hasn't had it. And you'll have dreams where you're running from a blackness, you're running from a monster, and yet it's like running through molasses. You just can't run fast enough. It's like almost time has stopped, and you can feel it chasing up on you until it finally catches you. That's your ego. Follows you from life to life. It follows you in death. Once you die, it's still attached to you. It only unattaches from you once you take a new body, once you're reborn. But you still don't escape it. It's still going to find you. So once you make it to the other side of the veil, you're in the realm of light. And that light is like best way to put it in the way that I saw it, is kind of like a radiation that burns out your ego, that darkness that's in every one of us. Does that make more sense? So you would, if you want, you could call it heaven. It's not as populous as the lower realm. People all over the places. There's gods, there's powerful beings, etc., all throughout that lower realm. But when you get to the upper realm, it's not, I'm not going to say it's bare, but there's just not that many people there. You know why? Because they just can't make it across. Anyways, what's beyond the veil? What up? Hello, Dejar. Do the chakras correspond to the planets? Good question, Illuminati. It doesn't matter. Who cares? You're doing what's called thinking too much. You're doing mental gymnastics. Worry about where you're at now, what you've realized, and look at your next step, okay? Illuminati, you know when your chakras open. Well, you'd never actually know when your chakras open. I mean, you can look in hindsight and say it's open, but you know, that's, again, it's a byproduct, just like getting abilities as you move along the path. It's a byproduct of the path. It doesn't really matter. What matters is the path, okay? That's what matters. Because you can try to open as many as you want. Oh my God, yes, I have opened the 4th chakra. Man, do I feel holy. Okay, you've already just blown it because you feel holy and you're feeling pride, which means there's no way that you made it to the 4th chakra, because the 3rd chakra is about getting rid of all that. So anyways, it doesn't matter. Just follow the path. Focus on the path, okay? Oh, I must have said something right. Chappelle said exactly. What is the difference between a dream body and a spirit body? Do these bodies reflect the subconscious mind and are connected to higher mind or sources? You are a higher mind, okay? You can't think of it as in terms of higher mind or lower mind and all that. There's only mind, okay? There's only awareness. So, the saying of, I think, therefore I am, is bullshit. I think is actually a cover keeping you from being aware of who you are. It's an illusion, all right? Your awareness moves between each body that you have. When the awareness is in this body, it has these memories, it has these abilities, and it has these things that it can do. When it's in this body, it has this awareness, it has these memories, it has this mental capabilities. Now, I know, here, let me give you guys an example. This is normal, okay? Have you guys ever, had one of those long mornings, it's nice and relaxed, and you drift in and out of sleep. And then when you drift out of, kind of into that in-between place of being awake and asleep, you can't hear anything around you. And you think about something and your mind's as clear. Your mind is like crystal clear. You can see and understand things, and you know that you understand what's going on. And then when you wake up, it's almost like a mist that flows away. But you know that you remember. Sometimes you do remember. And they are insights because your awareness is in a different body. It's not in your physical body, which means it's not limited by your body. Every body that your awareness is in is a limitation. It limits you, including your higher self. Think about that one for a while. See if you can come out, get that realization. That's kind of getting up there, but that's a good realization. Let's see. Hang on, let me light a cigarette. I know you guys are like, oh my God, you're spiritual and you smoke? It has nothing to do with it. I'm not a new ager, okay? I'm just a guy that's spent his whole entire life wanting to understand the nature of the mind and the nature of reality. That's why I called this channel. And I was fortunate enough to find out what it is. Let's see. Hello, everyone. Rise. Hey. Yeah, okay, then. Illuminati, then you've had the epiphanies. Okay, then you know what I'm talking about. There's like a sense of power that comes with that. Yeah, that's normal too. Okay, epiphany says at least 2 major epiphanies followed by tons of research. Well, what that is, remember, I was telling you guys, when you have the epiphany, there's an element of fear that you start to get. You know, once you get that power, you know, that the epiphany, it's like a spark or it's like a charge that hits you. Then fear hits, and then wanting to understand it. And that's where the research comes in. And I'll bet you $50 that where you thought you were going to find the answers isn't where you found the answers. You opened a book, a random book at some point. It might not have even been a spiritual book. And there was a passage in there that clarified that epiphany. That's the way it always works. It always works like that. Or you had a dream which clarified it. Oh, thank you, Chappelle. Chappelle said this is a nice side of you to see. You got to remember, you guys, a lot of you might be asking, why do I do Master's Report? Well, if you really take a look at what I'm doing, isn't the show about moving illusions aside? Think about it. I know it sounds like I'm probably heartless and I'm kind of blunt and cruel. You're being conned. What I'm really trying to do is to show people that this is a world of illusions. It's only beliefs. It's what you believe it is. If you can make your beliefs strong enough, Christ said it, okay? If you had the belief, and it's true, I'm telling you guys, it's true. I've experienced it. Not moving a mountain, but if your faith and your belief is the size of a grain of sand, you can move a mountain, okay? Again, I not quite went that far, but it's true. It's an illusion. Stuff, you know, the stuff that you believe that you can and can't do is an illusion that just holds you down. Illuminati, you're trying too hard, man. How do we connect with our spirit guides? I explained it. You don't. You can't. Okay? They connect with you when you're ready. Actually, your guide, that spirit that helped you take this form, your physical body, is watching you. And your spirit guide has access, your spirit guide has access to the teachers. When you're ready, they will take you to the teacher. They're not going to take you before you're ready. I mean, it's just bad practice. I mean, you can beg all you want. They'll say, dude, you're just not ready. But take me anyways. Why? You're just not ready. I've been telling you, you need to work on it. Look in your life and see where you're having strife. Right, I'm going to give you guys this is the last thing I'm going to do, okay? And we'll do this. I'm going to do this. We had enough people show up. Good questions. I'll do this on Thursdays at 6 o'clock PST. I'll do a class on it to talk with y'all. You know, anybody that wants to get insights, you know, I'll be happy to. Oh, shit. What was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. That's another thing, too. When you start to talk about spiritual things, your mind starts to go deep. If you lose that connection to it, it's like, oh, shit, what was I going to say? Because it's not really coming out of your physical mind. What was I talking about? Somebody help me out here. Before I switched off to talking about coming on at 6 o'clock on Thursday, 6 PST. Okay, what exactly is the ego, and what is the difference between the ego, the id, and the superego? Again, you're thinking too much. It has to do with what body that your awareness is in. Okay, look up the one that I did on spirit, on personality. I don't know what I named it, but personality aspects. Your awareness can not only move between bodies. Each body has personality aspects that your awareness moves in between. So, if, for instance, you'll know if you're ever in anger, you can't feel compassion, because your awareness is in the personality aspect of anger. That anger personality has a way of expressing itself, which is the personality of anger. And this goes all the way to you have a personality at work. You guys probably notice that. You shape that personality based on what you see at work and what you know is going to help your body survive. You have a home personality. You have a lover's personality. You have a personality with your family. These are all personality aspects that your awareness moves into when it's required. Okay? Sorry if I sound like a broken record. I need to watch more. No, it's okay, Illuminati. Maybe. I know, again, I'm telling you guys, the videos that I made are pretty deep. And a lot of you just aren't going to get it. I mean, but that's okay, because the way that the mind works is a possibility or potentiality cannot be realized until the mind is exposed to it. And generally speaking, what will happen is when the mind's exposed to a concept or an idea which is alien to its paradigm or its core belief structure, it's going to reject it immediately, okay? But it doesn't matter. It's been exposed. It's kind of like a seed, or some might say it could be like a cancer. Again, I'll remember about demons and angels. All depends on how you want to look at it. But it's a seed that's actually been planted. And as time goes by, over the course of the lives of a soul, it may be, let's say you got exposed to a concept. It could have been 5 lifetimes ago. But right now, even it's still there, and perhaps right now, the seeds of that concept, the soil's correct, the water's correct, or the conditions are correct. I do condition causes and effects. I did a video on that. The conditions are correct to where it can now grow, and it can become a reality within your life. Again, generally speaking, most of the time, we reject truths. We reject them if they're alien to our particular paradigm at that particular period of time. Yes, that's right. I'm actually intellectual, okay? I just don't show it on my other show. You said, wait a minute, sorry, I should sound like wait a minute, you said, look in your life where you see strife. Yes, thank you. This is important to bring up. You guys want to know the key to crossing the veil? Let me see. You guys want to know the key? I can tell you what the key is. I can tell you how to cross it. I can bypass everything. All of the stuff that you learn, all the stuff that you read. And I can even explain to you what it is that Christ was trying to explain in the Gospels. You want me to tell you what it is? If I see one thumbs up, I'll tell you. If not, we'll do it on a different video. And by the way, thank you. Strife reminded me what I was going to say. Okay, you guys ain't ready. We'll do it the next video then. Or do I have like a huge lag? Or did I lose all my viewers? All right. Okay, listen very closely to what I'm telling you. Okay, listen really, really closely, okay? All the stuff that you hear, all the stuff that you read, all the New Age stuff is just to get you to become a sheep for them, okay? So they can be your herder, all right? They make it complicated on purpose because then you need that master or that teacher to explain the reality to you, which is why I didn't really want to do questions and answers, which is why I just wanted to make the videos and put it out there. I'm kind of doing it for for your guys' own good, okay? Seriously. Because it's really simple. Remember, when masters say something, they mean exactly what they're telling you, okay? So if you're reading Buddha and somebody's, oh, Buddha meant this. If you're reading the Gospels, oh, the Gospels meant this. No, the master meant exactly what he said. There's only one way. And all of the teachings are really pointing you to this. Peace. I know, sounds too simple, doesn't it? You have to find peace. And everything that you read from the masters, again, not listening to the bullshit of the current master, explaining the master because they're the only one that has had the education or the insights. It's all bullshit. Everything they're telling you, like non-attachment to physical items, non-attachment to excitements and pleasure, not judging others, finding forgiveness. Now, when you read these things, I want you to notice that they're pointing you in one direction. They're pointing you towards peace. Can't cross the veil without it. If you don't have peace, you can't cross. All right, guys, I'll be back Thursday at 6 o'clock. Thanks for coming. I hope you enjoyed it.